Well, hello, Jane Fays here from Jane Fays Creates. I just thought I'd do another update on a video because I've just recently had a pretty major breakthrough in my favourite process on the gel plate, which is laser image transfer. For those of you who don't know, a laser image transfer uses a gel plate like this, and by applying a layer of paint and then a laser printed photo down into the paint, it miraculously transfers onto the plate. There's a few steps involved, but I'll go into that later. But my major breakthrough is that I have discovered, as I've been working on my laser prints, is that one laser print, if done well, good quality paper and good quality toner and print, you can actually get more than one print from it. So you may not be able to see that. I'm trying to move it around in the light to show you that this is a laser print of a door in Havana. And I was able to do my first print, which is pretty standard for me. Good detail. It's a high contrast photo. And so that's my first print. But what I can do, and what I've been trialing and playing with, is reusing this laser image. And by doing that, I was able to produce 4 prints. So this is print number 2. And this is print number 3. Now they all vary in the amount of grain that's now left on it, and that's for several reasons. And this is print number 4. So it's still doing pretty well. I guess I could go on to print number 5 and 6 and give it a go, but I'm not going to. So I just thought I'd show you just some basic steps of my laser image transfer process, but also I will work through that second step of taking that same laser print into a second print on our gel plate. Okay, so basic materials. I've got my gel plate. I'm using an 8x10 gel plate. I've got a soft rubber roller. I love the Speedball rollers, so that is the one I recommend. Amsterdam acrylic in oxide black is my absolute go-to when it comes to laser image transfer on the gel plate. It's just got the right consistency, the right opacity. It's a great paint. And then a spatula for later, and then I use a gel medium. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is a high contrast photo, and I'm going to use this one. Excuse me. I'm going to use this one of Havana, and this actually comes out of my Etsy packs. For most of you watching this video, Etsy will already be launched and I'll be shipping these packs of laser prints out. If you're a keen bean and you're just watching it before I'm launching in January 2024, where you can actually buy and have delivered to your door packs of actual laser prints, because I've discovered through my online courses and lots of comments on social media that this is the sticking point. This is the problem most people have in getting image transfer to work on the plate, is actually having a high enough contrast photo and in good enough quality. Okay, so high contrast, I go into this a lot more detail in my online course. You can edit it in your phone, through apps and through computer programs. So there's so much to go through there, but just making sure your blacks are very dense black. You've got some nice bright whites and a range of greys in between. So that's the photo you need, and then you need this high contrast print, a laser print, not an inkjet print for the process I use, it's a laser print. And this is where I've been trialing and thinking this through, and I feel that there's a bit of an equation going on. There's a lot of talk about high contrast and toner and the quality of a laser printer and the type of papers. Let me just say, I feel it's an equation. If you can go with a good quality paper and a top quality print, you'll maximize your chances of success. For many people, they can have access to a high quality laser printer, but maybe just print on cheap bond. And for them, that will probably work as well. On the flip side, you could actually have a poorer quality print, but on good quality paper. And in that case, that will probably produce a good quality print. In my packs, I've gone for really good quality paper. It's a 170 GSM silk paper and a high quality toner print. And so that, as I say, I am able to get 4 prints out of each of my laser copies. Okay, so that's trying to explain to you, you know, some people will talk about cheap bonds, some people will talk about putting it through the laser printer twice. I don't put it through the laser printer twice. For me, I've got so many details in my photographs that it's impossible to line those up twice in the same spot. So I just recommend high quality print and on high quality paper as much as possible. Okay, so as I said, my equipment, I've got it out here: gel plate, roller, black acrylic Amsterdam, and we're pretty much ready to go. I am going to use this photo of Havana, and we're going to try and get 2 good prints out of it. All right, so the first step is to lay down some black paint, and I like to roll a strip rather than dobs because I find that it spreads across the plate a bit more evenly. So we're looking at a nice thin layer here. I describe the paint layer in various stages as if it's a water surface, and I didn't put too much on, so but you can get a rough stage and a choppy stage, and then you're looking for a nice calm stage. If you take it too far, it'll go glassy and then it won't work either. So I think I've got the right amount of paint on there, which I'm happy with. I'm just making sure I've got a very smooth surface of paint. And now I'm going to lay down my image. I want as much from that corner as I can. I'm going to pop it down on this left edge, and I'm just laying it down slowly and smoothing out any air bubbles. Air bubbles can be a very common part of it. It's hard not to get some air caught under there, but this is where having a little bit more weight to your paper, it will help. So I only laid that down for a few seconds, but there we have some really great detail. And this is my laser print. I am going to lay that flat and I'm going to dry that. So I'll pop it just off camera there on a flat surface to dry, and then in a little while I will maybe use a hairdryer just to make sure that's nice and dry. So I'm going to wash my brayer, and excuse me while I'm off the side with my little water bucket here and my towel, drying my brayer well the acrylic paint doesn't mix well with water. So that's why I like to keep a nice, clean, dry roller. And just drying it off with paper towel, just making sure I haven't got any little water droplets up in the mechanics there. Okay, so my preference is to allow that to dry. Lots of people can come in with tissue and print straight away. I don't find that that lifts that thin layer of paint well enough. That is highly detailed, and there's some very fine details in there. You can see those people beautifully. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm keen on the hairdryer. So give me a moment and I'll just give this a bit of a burst with the hairdryer. And while I'm doing this, I'm just going to, as off camera is this piece, which is my laser copy. I'm just going to give that also a burst with my hairdryer. Okay, so I've kept that nice and flat. And I'm hoping that this will, as you can see, I'm just give you a bit of a sneak peek. I'll show you again later. You can see the image still on that laser print. Okay, I'm going to keep it really simple. I have sat my gel plate on a piece of paper which is exactly the same size as the substrate on which I am going to print. Let me grab a couple of sheets of that. So this is my pad of watercolour paper. It's a Fabriano Academia in a 240 GSM. It's a nice big mega block, I think it's called, which I really like. And it's not too textured. You need a nice smooth texture. But the idea is that because I've centered my gel plate, when I lay down my sheet of paper, I'm going to lay that down precisely to align with this sheet. Okay, so if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have always used the Liquitex matte medium, and that is still a good option to use. But lately I've been using the Liquitex in the matte gel. So that's just a little bit thicker, and I think it doesn't make it quite as wet, and it's got some really good pulling powers. Okay, so just going to pop that on and give that a good roll. Probably got a bit too much there, but I can roll it off on my sheet here. Just going all the way to the edge. I've got some crusty bits from some previous gel printing, so sometimes that comes off with different pulls. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And as I said, I'm going to align this as closely as I can to the layer underneath. Giving that a good massage. I will wash off my roller. And get my hairdryer again. Give that a dry. I'll get these out of the way so they don't blow. Okay. All right, and let's pull our print. Might be still a bit damp. I think the gel medium was a bit thick. I'll just do a little bit more of the dryer. I'm pressing down on those edges quite a bit because it'd be great to pick up some of those grungy edges. All right, let's have a go. Pulling it this time, see if we picked up a bit more, and yes we did, so that's good. There was a little bit more left behind there, but it's managed to pick that up, and it's just really probably that the gel medium was a little bit wet still. And that's, as I said, there's some nice crusty bits, and that's a really nice clear print. I'll put it up nice and close to the camera so you can hopefully see the detail. Hopefully the camera's focused. So yes, some lovely detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try that exact same process. As I say, it won't be as clean as this, so let's put this down as print number 1. And we'll give print number 2 a go. Okay, so we're going to continue on with our second print off this laser copy. You can see on this side where I haven't printed, so you can see that's an original. Hopefully you can see with the light that building in Havana in Cuba. So it's showing you the paint that's on the paper, but where the toner is from the image, that is still exposed because it was resisted the paint and left it on the plate. It's sitting here without any paint on it, so that's toner still there, hopefully ready to resist the paint a second time. So we're going to lay down a second layer of paint, completely repeat the process we did last time, rolling out a good amount of paint, spreading it out so it gets through the choppy and the rough stages. And we want it nice and calm, but not waiting so long that it gets glassy and patchy. So just working it evenly, not allowing it to dry out, but trying to get rid of brayer lines, making it nice and smooth. Okay, let's see how we go with this second print, and I tend to leave this on slightly longer than the first print, just to give that paper a little bit more time to absorb the paint. And it's already had a layer of paint on it, so we'll see how we go. So we're just going to give it a nice massage. I think I can feel an air bubble there. Giving it a good smooth. This is all subjective, the amount of time. So we'll have a look and see how it looks. So as you can see, the image is still there, but it's a little bit grainy, and we can still see some of that toner sitting on that page. So that could probably go again, but it's not obviously as clean as the first one. You've got some extra grain, but that can then depend on, the amount of paint you put down and the timing. And so sometimes you know, print number 2 can be quite grainy, but then the third time you try and print from it, you might put a little bit less paint and leave your print down a little bit longer, and it may lift more. And so, you know, it is subjective, but it's giving you an option of having more prints, more practice from each laser copy, which is good value for you. I will wash my roller and dry off that print, because that's what I like to do. Don't like to come in straight away and try and pull that print. My preference is to dry that off, and I'll be using a hairdryer again. Excuse the noise. So as I said, you've got, you know, a few more little black bits there on the building, a couple of tiny little, you know, sort of extra marks there. But, you know, we are doing buildings in Havana, and if you've been to Havana, you'll know that, you know, there's a few crumbling buildings, so that doesn't ruin the look at all with this particular print. Okay. Here's my gel medium. And rolling that out nice and evenly across the whole plate, trying to get some of those edges. And again, I've got the same size paper ready to put down to match that backing paper. Okay, give it a good massage. Again, I like to dry that. Get my hairdryer, put my roller in water, getting into good methods with your gel printing so that you look after your materials. Excuse the noise. Sorry about that. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm drying it. And let's see how this print comes off. It's lifting nice and clean. It's getting all the paint off the plate. So there you go, that's print number 2. So as I said, much more grainy than print number 1. Here's a comparison. There's print number 1. And normally that's where we'd stop. So anything after that is a bit of a bonus, really, I think. But you're still practicing, getting a chance to weigh up your timing and your amount of paint and your process. So that just gives you an idea. It's just updates you on my method, my laser image transfer method that I like to use, and the way that I've been experimenting with getting more than one print. As I said, I am launching and I hope that's not too reflective, but some laser packs. This is what they look like. So I've got Havana, I've got France, I've got Portugal and Italy, and these are just what I've done so far. More will be on their way. There's going to be 20 copies in a pack, 10 photos, so 2 photos of each copy, on good quality paper, 170 GSM silk paper, and got a bit of a method on the back there for you to help you if you're new to laser image transfer. But those will be available in my Etsy store, and you'll be able to buy them and have the actual laser prints sent directly to your home for your practice. And as I say, don't just use them once. Give them a go for a second, third, fourth time. So I hope you've enjoyed that update on my method. I'm pretty excited to see that, you know, you can actually be reusing those laser prints and getting some really good value out of them. So until next time, bye-bye. Just a little postscript. I didn't leave it at 2 prints. I did take another print. So here is my 3rd print off this same laser copy. So I thought I've done all exactly the same stages up until now, and just thought I'd add this to the video. So this is print number 3, and it's also just, you know, got some grain in it, but it's pulling nicely and you can definitely see everything that's on it. So that is print number 3. Let me just write that on. So print number 3, nice and close so you can see some detail there. Hopefully the camera is focusing. Print number 2. So as I said, the print number 3 is actually lighter. I did leave that on longer and a bit thinner paint. So here is print number 2. The detail in the photo is probably better in this one, but it is darker and got some grainier bits to the photo. And then our first print. So by far the first print is the superior print, but there is a good reason to keep pushing those prints, getting extra prints off them, and just learning, getting better value for your money. So there you go, 3 prints off the same laser copy. Hope you enjoyed.